Welcome to the Warlord Strategist. Commander, previously, you conquered the hills and seized the high ground. Now, it's time to face the oldest barrier in warfare, the river. Today's lesson will show you how to use waterways as shields, traps, and lines of destiny. To never miss a maneuver, subscribe, hit like, and prepare to cross with courage. Let's begin. Every army fears the water not just because it drowns, but because it divides, delays, and destroys. Today, we confront the most ancient barrier in warfare: rivers, marshes, and waterways, the dividing lines of history. Across these waters, legends are made or lost forever. On the battlefield, a river is never just an obstacle, it is a weapon, a judge and a trap. Rivers, streams, and wetlands carve the land, slowing marches, stretching columns thin, and testing the discipline of every army. A crossing isn't simply a path, it is a gauntlet. Wetlands sap your strength, steal your footing, and hide danger beneath every reed. Every general knows, no crossing is ever safe, and no river is ever truly loyal. When are rivers suitable for battle? A river is your greatest ally when you defend its banks. If your force is outnumbered, let the enemy come to you, make them cross under your gaze. Strike while the foe is midstream, vulnerable and disorganized. If you can force your opponent to divide and cross in waves, a handful of defenders can break an army. Bridges, fords, and narrow crossings become natural choke points. Multiply your strength with every yard of water. When are rivers not suitable for battle? But rivers can turn against you, Commander. If your army is forced to cross under enemy fire, exposed, scattered, and cold, the river becomes your executioner. If you lack mobility, or your troops are tired, the crossing will break their discipline and sap their morale. Never attack blindly across a river. Never underestimate the strength of a defender who holds the far bank. And remember, if you lose control of the crossing, you risk being cut off, trapped, or swept away by panic and the current. How to fight in rivers and marshes. To master the river, fight like water, be adaptable, flexible, and swift. Defend crossings fiercely. Wait until your enemy is divided by the current. Then strike with speed and fury. Use boats, rafts, or pontoons to surprise or outflank your opponent. Don't always take the obvious route. Burn bridges behind you to deny the enemy pursuit, or trap those who follow. Let the river slow your foes and split their ranks, then strike where they are weakest. What to avoid in river warfare? Never rush a crossing without reconnaissance. Don't let your force become stretched out, tired, or strung along the bank. Never commit to a crossing if your retreat is cut off, or if the enemy commands the heights above the river. And don't ignore the weather. A swollen river, marshy ground, or sudden flood can destroy your plans in moments. Now let's witness a masterclass in water warfare. Hannibal's victory at the Trebia River, 218 BC. Winter, northern Italy. On one side, Hannibal Barca, master of strategy, commands around 40,000 Carthaginian troops, including fierce Numidian cavalry and elephants. On the other, the Roman consul Sempronius Longus, leading roughly 42,000 Romans, disciplined, proud but impatient, and unaware of the danger ahead. Hannibal chooses his ground carefully. He places his army behind the freezing, swollen Trebia River, hiding his best cavalry and skirmishers in the marshy banks and tall grass. He goads the Romans into attacking at dawn, forcing them to cross the river, shivering and hungry. After a cold night with little rest, as the Romans wade across, the icy current saps their strength, scatters their lines, and dulls their wits. Before they can regroup, Carthaginian cavalry strike from the flanks, hidden, fast, and merciless. Hannibal's elephants charge the Roman front, while his infantry press the exhausted center. Surrounded, freezing, and broken, the Roman army collapses. Thousands are slain or drowned as they try to flee back across the river. Hannibal's genius turns the Trebia from a river into a grave. So, Commander learned the lesson of every river. Another obstacle overcome. Commander, now you know how to divide, defend, and conquer with the river's help. If you value these lessons, subscribe and like. Your support sharpens the entire Legion. In the next campaign, we'll fight in the narrowest of places where a handful can hold back a flood at the chokepoints and mountain passes of history. Don't miss it. Victory belongs to those who never let the enemy pass. Forward to glory.